my name is Meerah and I'm a Lorekeeper in one of the Yogg-Sothoth libraries, and welcome to our first video of 2026. I hope you all had an okay holiday season. In this video, I wanted to briefly talk about the Dark Presence from Alan Wake.
I am much older than you. Older than your first work of art. I will find a new face to wear. Someone else to dream me free.
The Dark Presence makes its appearance in Alan Wake, a video game released in 2010, and it is an entity or creature designated by the Federal Bureau of Control as the Shadow, technical classification Paranatural Entity A-010. It resides beneath the fictional Cauldron Lake near Bright Falls, Washington in the United States. The Caldera Lake is the 8th deepest lake in this fictional world and was formed from a volcanic crater. Cauldron Lake is itself a place where reality bends and serves as an entrance to the Dark Place. The Dark Place is described as a realm of pure creativity and imagination, and it is where the Dark Presence resides. The lake itself is thought to be special, and the Anderson brothers even used its water in their moonshine, and the water is believed to have a unique chemical composition that made their moonshine more potent. Indeed, when Alan drinks the moonshine, it clears his mind and allows him to remember things he had previously forgotten or had become clouded. From this alone, we can see some inspiration perhaps taken from the mythos. Hastur lives below Lake Holly, as does Glocky live below Deepwater Lake. The Dark Place, a place where creative humans can bring their creations to life and bend reality, sounds a lot like the Dreamlands. Of course, the comparisons aren't one-to-one, but it wouldn't be an unreasonable assumption, I think, that the writers might have taken a little inspiration from other historical Eldritch works. Lakes in general can be pretty spooky places, and a realm where ideas become reality also isn't exactly an original concept to the mythos. Anyway, I'm rambling. Onwards. The entity claims to have existed before your first work of art when speaking to Alan. However, it's unclear if this is like the royal you, like referring to the entirety of the human race, or just Alan, the individual specifically. I like to believe the former, as that would make the Dark Presence absolutely ancient. The indigenous people in the area of Bright Falls have always treated Cauldron Lake with reverence and believe it is a gateway to the underworld, so it certainly has a reputation and a story. However, what we know of the entity begins in the 1970s with an author named Thomas Zane, later to become the Presence of Light. He would live on an island in the middle of Cauldron Lake where he discovered that his writings were becoming reality. His wife, Barbara Jaeger or Jaeger? I don't remember. I'm so sorry. Would drown in the lake, and his assistant Emil Cartman would convince him to attempt to write her back to life. Which is a crazy idea, Emil. The Dark Presence, seeing an opportunity, must have read a lot of Come Back Wrong fanfics, because Barbara would indeed return, her body inhabited by the Dark Presence. Zane, realizing that he made a whoopsie-poopsie, and that whatever was wearing his wife's skin was indeed not the person he had once loved, would end up remedying his mistake by using his poetry. He would cut her heart out, and then he would write him and his wife out of existence. In doing so, he very likely caused the volcanic earthquakes below the lake that sank Diver's Isle, and he himself would then become the Presence of Light and would continue to hound the Dark Presence into the modern day. The entity's main motivation seems to be to escape, as it has been sealed or is somehow physically tied to Cauldron Lake and its immediate surrounding areas. While it is incredibly powerful, thought to have such abilities as omnipresence, shapeshifting, teleportation, possession, and an intelligence far beyond that of a human, the entity also has a set of rules it is bound to. One of these restrictions is a literal physical restriction to its powers, which can only affect the Bright Falls area. Another rule is that the Dark Presence requires a human artist, whether it be poet, writer, painter, musician, though it appears to prefer writers as that can be the most direct. It cannot create on its own, and it can only change what already exists. The writing itself must also follow the rules. In the case of Alan Wake, his horror story has to follow the general rules of a horror story. That is to say that a writer couldn't simply like write one sentence and free the dark presence. It requires a well-written plot that has a very strong emotional energy invested into it. The Lake House expansion even goes as far as to clarify that machine-generated content, or AI-generated writing, that is to say, content generated for the sake of making content or profit, is seen as completely worthless to the lake and the presence, and is basically not considered creation at all. Honestly based. From what we know of its history, it has used at least 3 artists: Thomas Zane, the poet, the Old Lords of Asgard, a metal band also from the 70s, and then Alan Wake. It has also turned many creatures and people into the Taken, those fully possessed by the Dark's presence, and then other humans it just influences to the point of driving them insane. It uses those around the artists to manipulate them, at one point even taking over the pet ravens of one of the Anderson brothers. While Alan does defeat the avatar of the Dark Presence in the form of Barbara Jaeger? Again, I'm sorry, I don't remember how to pronounce it. And manages to allow Alice to escape, he himself is trapped within the Dark Place, and it is unclear throughout the rest of the games in the franchise if the Dark Presence has been truly defeated. I personally believe that it's still around and it's not something that is defeatable, only something that can be weakened or sealed away. But that's just my opinion. What do I know? Anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, leave a like or perhaps a comment, subscribe maybe. Y'all know the drill. This was in no way all-encompassing, as usual. This is just a brief summary, something I wanted to ramble about, so here it is. I've rambled about it. Special thank you, as always, to my channel members, especially Loremasters, PwNaGeDOTexe, Beitodesstrafe, and General Jehuty. May Yog grant them the knowledge they seek. I hope to see y'all next time here in the library.